Personally, I think the media is a powerful force in many ways. It controls societies, organisations, populations, corporations. Media reaches every corner of the globe. There's nobody doesn't have access to the media now. Media can turn up in the form of a newspaper article. It can turn up in the form of a radio advert. It can turn up in the form of an advert online. It can be a billboard. It can be a leaflet. But media actually opens up many job prospects and opportunities, and the opportunity to learn and to study media itself, such as photography, filmmaking, producing. Young people can study these subjects at university, etc. However, some people see the media in a more negative light, in the fact that it may sometimes not be wholly true, and as it's the only source of news we receive, we feel obliged to believe it. And some people feel quite against that, and they're quite passionate about the fact that the media is inappropriate in the way it works. There is some bias in the media, and there's controversy about 99% all the time. But there's pros and cons in everything. Well, I think that the media has kind of evolved to be it's just a mass power convection, really. There's so many ways and so many means of media. You have billboards, physical media that you might see walking around your town. For example, billboards, leaflets, that's all media. And then you go home and you watch BBC News, that's also media. But the media actually has the upper hand, and they can actually influence the mindset of the population. And the media has the power to actually feed people that knowledge. And people actually sometimes tend to take the news and to take headlines and to take media, in literal ways.
Yeah, I think media affects our lives in various different ways, from the public to the private, to the way in which we date, the products in which we consume, our sense of meaning and feeling, the virtual rooms, the expansion of social media like Twitter. No longer do we sit in living rooms, we sit in our computers, or by the access of Android technology. So it brings the local, the global, all in one shared space, really. And it's a broader part of the information technology society, in which we're all pretty much quite privy to. And it affects us in different ways. In years gone by, the dinner table was pretty much the time to talk about topics such as media and politics. And now it could be just chilling with the friends, or sitting on the bus and accessing social media. Facebook is a great exponent of how media is. And
I think media
it shapes who's
popular,
who's different ways, from the public
to the private,
cataloguing your life, to the way in which we date, the products in which we consume, our sense of meaning and feeling. The virtual rooms, the expansion of social media like Twitter. No longer do we sit in living rooms, we sit in our computers, or by the access of Android technology. So it brings the local, the global, all in one shared space, really. And it's a broader part of the information technology society, in which we're all pretty much quite privy to. And it affects us in different ways. In years gone by, the dinner table was pretty much the time to talk about topics such as media and politics. And now it could be just chilling with the friends, or sitting on the bus and accessing social media. Facebook is a great exponent of how media is, and it shapes who's popular, who's interesting. It's a way of cataloguing your life. Technology is brilliant and as excellent as it is. For example, 50 years ago it might have been a really alien concept for me to talk to someone over a computer in Beijing. But it, in some way, it does take away from the art of conversation. How many of us regularly engage in Facebook, actually say hello to our neighbours, or know what our neighbours look like, or what their favourite interests are? These are the sort of impact in which media has on our everyday lives, I think. And a lot of media is about sensationalism, and again reinforcing political agendas, whether it's right-wing, extreme, left-type politics, with a lot of it focusing on negative stuff like murder. Immigration's a massive one that comes in pretty much every other day. And then they'll throw it in with a bit of light-hearted media stuff, and it's literally another way of programming people's minds, really. And most people are sheep. They will go with the majority.
They're completely fucking chatting shit. take for example ISIS. They're probably just another group of it's like the government. Our government goes over into their country, you know. We start fucking bombing them, and then the fucking Iraqis, whoever the fuck they want to call themselves. Say that again.
Talk a bit louder.
Okay. You know, they could be fucking foreign operatives, you know? Like, just because we fucking label them as terrorists and Muslims, everybody fucking thinks they are. They're probably just a bunch of fucking kids employed by the fucking government to come over and kill us all. It's pretty funny, really. But
Why would they be like little children from the government then? Like, why would they use that?
they're easy to manipulate, you know?
That's true.
They use religion and all that. Religion has been used for fucking countless centuries as a way of manipulating people
For
to do what you
benefits.
want to. Exactly. It's like, look back fucking 500-600 years ago during the Dark Ages, the medieval times. Don't steal this loaf of bread, don't commit any crimes, don't feed your starving family, and you'll go to heaven. It's a lot of bullshit, isn't it?
So you're saying like the government is kind of set up like sort of religious way
Yeah.
because they've got the higher powers, and then it all proceeds down to the lower people.
Yeah.
And then there's us.
It's a hierarchy.
Yeah.
It's a hierarchy that fucking rewards the people at the top, the 1% actually. It ain't even the fucking 1%, it's the 0.1%. They control the fucking economy, they control us. It's like, it's called an hourglass effect. They've completely trapped the 99.9% in this way of making money that just rewards them, doesn't reward us. So, we're fucking slaves, aren't we, at the end of the day?
because the government are corrupt, man. Look,
You know.
look the USA, man. Look at that. Look at the
It's how
history of the
Britain's gonna be.
USA. It's bullshit, man.
Yeah, you know. Do you know they're actually fucking every single police officer is going to be carrying around tasers soon?
Yeah, and cameras.
Yeah, you know.
Cameras. to
And for
see-
example, internet is a privacy for all us.
Yeah, you
But
know.
in USA, there is no privacy. They control everything. Hotmail, Facebook, everything.
They probably control it here though. It's
Yeah,
like it isn't the
actually.
fucking governments that control it, it's the corporations. At the end of the day, we're so far fucking gone that it's no longer these governments ruling the fucking planet, it's these fucking huge corporations.
It's these groups of people. Just
Exactly. They've completely fucked us.
So-
They've bent us over and they've completely fucked us.
And I was thinking about to the North Korea. I think this is the best place for live. I don't know. Maybe all the propagandas we see from USA, UK, and any country, sorry.
Mm.
Maybe it's for hate that people. It's for hate because you can see the old propaganda is for hate.
Mm.
You know.
It's just us, like, we're in a constant fucking battle between one government and the other government, you know?
Yeah.
So, you know, fucking marijuana is legal in North Korea. It's completely legal.
Illegal.
Yeah, you can smoke it, you
Yeah,
can
yeah,
grow
I
it.
know that. I read that. I say, wow.
What
Yeah,
else?
it's like they're trying to control our ideas and make us think a certain way, when really
Yeah.
we should be free to think what we want.
You know. It's, actually, I'm doing a project at the moment for Behance. It's, because at the end of the day, graphic designers, we have the fucking power. Do you know what I mean? There's no fucking advertisement and all that shit without graphic designers.
Yeah, it's all of us doing the work for other people.
You know.
Like, that's what it all comes down to. We're just doing things for other people to gain profit. And that's not really how we should be living, is it? We should be
No.
doing things for ourselves.
Yeah, you know. To be fair, I think society was better when we didn't have this crazy hierarchy of government power, you know? There was so much, like, look at the hill tribes in fucking, I don't know, Tunisia. I'm probably chatting fucking complete shit. But they've got a currency, yeah? But it isn't the sort of currency we've got where we're controlled by it. Like, money at the end of the day is everybody's god.
Like, we're controlled by money, but for them, they control the money.
Yeah.
It's like schools, you know, everything that is we've got to do is a way of fucking programming us, like subconsciously. Like,
Yeah.
what do we fucking do when we come to school? We do mathematics, we do English, all the shit that we don't like.
Yeah, we're being forced to learn it, even though we don't really want to. They tell
Yeah.
us it's going to help us in the future, but does it really?
It helps us in
yeah.
their ideal world.
Yeah, it helps us to a sort of extent, But then there's other things that we do need to learn that we don't have any access to.
Yeah, you know, things they don't want us to learn. It's like every single conspiracy theorist in the fucking world is shunned upon like they're a nutcase or some shit, you know?
Yeah, the whole tinfoil hats, living on their own, that
Yeah.
sort of thing.
So you look at fucking, I think it was Hitman, you know that fucking, the mission, he was in a fucking courtroom, the guy had a tinfoil hat on. It's just
Yeah.
constant bombardment. The government is constantly bombarding us to think that certain people,
It's wrong.
yeah, it's like, look at the graffiti, all that, it's like gang related. It isn't.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
yeah,
it's
there
an
are
art form.
crews. Yeah,
Yeah.
you know, it's fucked up.
These things are art forms, and we're being told that they're wrong, even though, well, it is wrong to in some ways because it's someone else's property
Yeah.
and you're just defiling it.
But then again, say if I was a graffiti artist, I wouldn't be doing it on private property. I wouldn't
Yeah.
go up to people's houses and do it. I wouldn't go up to small businesses. Say if I saw a fucking Louis Vuitton shop, I'd fucking spray paint the shit out of that.
yeah, it's like
Government buildings as well.
it's sending a message, isn't it?
You know, that's graffiti has been used fucking ever since we had a fucking artistic interpretation of a certain
It's
event
like a
and idea.
protest.
Yeah,
you know,
it is.
graffiti
It's
is.
a visual protest.
Yeah.
But we're being there's this visual dictatorship that is being dictated upon to us by advertisement, by brands, by the government, you know. But yet, like advertisement and all these big companies, they've completely fucking stole graffiti from us. Do you know what I mean? It's like we were the ones originally doing it, putting our names up and all that. But now it's the fucking these big brands that are doing it legally.
It's like some sort of glamour around it. Like it's a good thing, but then they're using it in the wrong sort of way. Like, if you think about how it started off as like a sort of grassroots movement kind of thing, just doing it to send a message. Now it's just not like that.
Yeah, you
At
know,
all.
it's graffiti. When you look at all these brands and everything, they're putting their images out there. They're asking for you to spend your money on them. What does graffiti fucking ask? It's completely fucking free.
Yeah,
Sending a message, a good message.
just putting it out there.
I don't think we're safe at all,
You
to
know.
be fair. From terrorist attacks to everything that's happening around in the world, I don't think you're safe at all.
I think it often, you know, the over surveillance, the over usage of sort of technology, whether it's webcams, whether it's you know, CCTV, and you know, I mean, we look at how our world works through CCTV, constant monitoring. If anything, it has quite a schizophrenic effect on the society.
Yes.
It makes us very untrusting of what we do with one another, how we relate to one another, because we constantly feel the need to be monitored. I mean,
I tell you, it frightens me that much that I'm even terrified of having a mobile phone.
okay. And what terrifies you about having a
Well,
mobile
just
phone?
hearing all these things in it. I
In
don't,
case
you
she's
don't know
groomed.
who's spying on who. I don't want to be groomed, and I certainly don't want to be end up like what, you know. You hear all these things going on about, you know, we're all going to be turned into, you know, these cloned robots, in it, who are going to be
Yes.
like, you know, not even allowed to leave our homes.
Well,
Have these walls built around us and whatnot, you know, all sorts of conspiracies that do go on, I do believe.
well,
And I don't want to end up as one of them. Not only that, why should I let somebody control my mind?
yes, well.
I've got a mind of my own, and I like to think and do what I think is right for
yes,
myself.
well,
You know.
So would you say in the absence of technology, you guys feel more sort of liberated within yourselves?
well, you're
I
more
don't feel
human.
liberated. I think the people that I personally speak for
Or
myself.
empowered maybe
Yeah.
for not being...
I
Want to think for ourselves
I
rather than somebody
yeah.
thinking for us.
I'm
You know, to
quite
be able to
withdrawn,
use
and
our
I'd
hands
like to
when
keep
and how we
myself to
want.
myself.
Okay.
So I don't mind, you know, not having all this technology and that. Not to say that I don't have it, you know, but I personally myself
Some of
Yeah.
it we
think
can
of
do
it like
without
that.
it.
Some days, obviously, you know, the home phone is fine, but even that sometimes, you know, when you lift it up and you hear all those bleeps, it's like somebody's, you know, bugged it and you're being listened to. So I don't know, you know. But I myself like to keep myself to myself, and
I
that
think-
because I don't want any of this going on. I don't want anybody knowing what, you know, colour
My
shoes I'm
business,
wearing
yes.
or whether I'm dressed at all. You know, why should I? Your home's supposed to be safe. It's your home is your castle. You're supposed to feel safe there.
So the
Yeah.
very things we invest our time in, like the TVs, the technologies, actually have the opposite effect. Is that what we're saying? That it makes us
Yes,
feel
some of it.
even more.
Some of it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
because they drum
Because
these things into our
We
heads.
become so enslaved to these things that
Yeah.
it takes over your thinking processes because you're continually, for example, you're sitting and watching TV programs and you're so addicted to them that, you know, come a certain time, if you miss whatever, you'd rather not do whatever it is you're meant to be doing, you know, or rushing through it, not properly, you know, preparing or whatever, doing whatever you need to do, even cooking meals. You know, you can't be asked to cook or whatever, you're just, you know, maybe having a takeaway or just quickly warming up whatever's, you know,
left over.
sort of.
I do think though, so I do feel sorry for the young people sometimes because they have a false idea
Yes.
of what things are. Like, for example, there's so much reality TV as well. Like, you've got the Kardashians or Made in Chelsea, and
They
they're
have to think-
people that have these lives, they've got money, and
Yes.
and young kids today think they have to
be
be like that.
That's
and they
reality.
and have
No,
some.
I'm sorry, but I,
That's
but
a
I
false
find that
reality.
sort of stuff quite demoralising to.
And
Yes,
just
it
Yes.
is. It's,
Yeah.
it's
It's a false-
But
undignified.
to some people, they cannot live up to that or
No.
have that sort
Not
of
all
lifestyle.
can. No, we cannot.
And then
It's
there
not viable.
becomes such a pressure within, like, the.
Yes.
You know how it used to be in the old days. Oh, you got to keep up with the Joneses.
Yeah.
It's like that only.
Kardashians.
Yeah.
What do you think of the world, man?
It's alright. Fucking. You know, media runs it all though, doesn't it?
Yeah, if you think about it, like, they influence all we do.
Everything. Adverts, news, like, think about it, what they show on the news is just what they want you to see.
Yeah, like,
Like, all them people died in Nigeria,
yeah, man.
and then, oh no, that 16 people died in France, but then there's like 3,000 people dead in Nigeria, and that was like a little like clicky button at the bottom of my screen. So I fucking noticed at 3 in the morning and just glanced at. That was about it.
It's like they want us to only see what they want us to see.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of weird.
It's a bit like the Matrix,
Yeah.
but it's real life. So like,
It's kind of weird when you think about it, that like everything you see is what someone wants you to see.
yeah, it's a bit like North Korea, because like everything's controlled there,
Yeah.
and they haven't got any
What are you on
freedom.
about, man? It's Democratic People's
Oh,
Republic.
yeah. Democratic People's Republic of Korea, best Korea. But yeah,
They've even got a constitution for free speech and religious right.
I know. Even though you have to like every day worship him, basically.
You never know though, North Korea could be a good place and our media just tells us that it is.
That's true. Like, what if they're just lying to us, so we think they're lying about them, but
Exactly.
really everyone's just lying about each other?
But really, North Korea is the best place in the world.
Yeah.
And America's wank.
Yeah. What if they've got like super secret technology that we don't know about?
Yeah.
That's pretty fucked up, though.
In fact, they get told that Kim Jong-un scored the World Cup winning goal, and like, you know, that's nothing to tell them that ain't true.
Because they haven't got any outside sources. Like the same thing, we haven't got any inside sources of them, and the ones
Yeah.
we do have are like controlled by them.
Yeah.
Don't-
Oh, we just got a bit, but fucking yeah, they just get told, yeah, this is that, and they got nothing else to say to them. No, it ain't. So you never know. They could get told that what is it? Great Britain's the poorest country in the world, and they'll probably believe it.
They believe anything they tell them. Like
Kind of weird that the media can do that.
the birth of King Jong Un, they said like he came down like with stalks and
Oh
shit.
yeah, they think he's like a god, didn't they?
Yeah, like
And,
something carved in a tree 50 years
him and
ago.
his dad and all that.
Yeah, it's like they've got like massive published works of just what he said.
Yeah.
And it's really weird. It's like he's made his own sort of religion. Like
Yeah, and he's got like museums dedicated to him,
Right.
with, like fake bones of like creatures he used to ride when he was a god.
they think unicorns are real.
Yeah, yeah, they think they think King Jong Un and King Jong Il used to ride unicorns.
Unicorns were never real. Like, who's gonna like see a horse with a horn on its head and think, yeah, man, that's real?
You know.
Like,
Do you reckon they actually believe it?
I don't know. Like,
Do
you reckon,
they're all
like-
just kind of all a bit shit scared? Like, if I say I don't believe it, I'm just gonna get shot in the night.
that is true. Like, think about like when journalists and stuff go over there, they all have like bugged rooms.
Yeah.
Like, some have bugged rooms though, some don't. Like, it's weird. And there's massive cities over there just filled with nothing.
Yeah.
It's pretty messed up.
Yeah, they got the ones on the edge to make South Korea jealous,
Yeah.
to make people come to North Korea, and there's just
There's
nobody in
nothing
the
there.
city.
They don't even have. They have cars, but they've got like a fuel shortage. So
Yeah, the
It's-
whole country's just fucked.
it's pretty messed up. But then like,
And they're trying to assassinate anyone who leaves.
yeah, like they've got like sniper walls and everything,
There's a
haven't
guy
they?
in South Korea, he escaped North Korea, and he's like the head of like this anti-North Korea thing. They've
Yeah.
tried to assassinate him like 20 times.
Like that. Like, I know there was one guy who was in the war over there. He was American, and he went to live over there because he thought how America worked was pretty fucked up. Like he was going through like orphanages and shit,
Yeah.
and his family didn't want him. And now he's like living in North Korea, which is just really strange if you think about it.
Weird. I bet he's regretting it now.
I don't know. I watched it. Like, obviously, it was an interview, and like
Yeah.
he was there saying he liked it there, and that he wouldn't go back to the US. And it's like, you think about all the things that people say about that place. Are they really true?
Yeah, like people who escape could just be liars.
Like, he's living there fine, and he's an American guy,
Yeah.
like full-on veteran soldier. Like, that's pretty messed up as well.
One such form of negativity that comes from the media is the use of propaganda and the publishing of propaganda and the spreading of propaganda. All three stages, from the creation of propaganda to the understanding and to the absorbing of the propaganda, it is channeled through media, from the printings, from the billboards, from the adverts. We saw it in the World Wars, recruiting young men to go and fight the war. Media was used, and it has been used ever since, as in the form of propaganda, and so corporations took advantage of the fact that the media is so vast and used that as a platform to recruit others. And these days, they are using the same platform to recruit people into not so beneficial causes, such as people in the Middle East, with current wars going on overseas. Propaganda being used to spread actual evidence of recent murders. So media is actually still to this day being used in an extremely negative light, and actually harbours the potential these days to cause up a humongous stir. So people on social networking sites these days have the ability to look at anybody, anywhere, anytime. They can find any piece of evidence, and there are all sorts of technologies out there now to invade personal space, and that has all come through the media, and that has all channeled from the platform which used to be basic media, so from leaflets to newspapers, whereas these days we have laptops, we have TVs and radio signals. And there's pros and cons in the media, and from watching the news, from listening to the radio, holding the newspaper, you are harbouring media, and the media is not going anywhere soon.